Hello, Facebook people. I've just had a friend put something on Facebook. I absolutely love how this happens because I think, I'll go on and do Facebook Live early so that I get it done before the day gets too far in and then it becomes evening time. And interestingly, the little quote today says, I never want my kids to mess up. Sorry, that completely went wrong. And think mum's going to kill me. I want their first thought to be, I need to call mum. And that's really, really interesting. It is for me, and from a child psychotherapist point of view, it's quite fascinating to read something like that. Because actually, when your children are small, the need to dislike you and actually hate you at times is a very healthy way for them to grow up. They need to feel that it's safe to dislike you. And that doesn't mean to say that as they get older that they're not going to ring you when they want you to help them. Of course they do. But they build that bond of trust and knowing that you're safe by trying out that I hate you, slamming doors, even when they're little. They don't like things you do. When they throw temper tantrums, I may have spoken about this before, but certainly in my book, that actually children need to be able to dislike you and for you to be able to bear it. And that's the hard part, because when we disliked people, perhaps that wasn't okay. It didn't feel safe. You didn't feel good afterwards. And actually, you grew up thinking your mum was going to kill you for the things that you might have done wrong. It's such a hard thing to do. This is that point where I say to you to be kind to yourself. It's very hard to accept that not everybody likes us, and even more difficult to accept that your children right in this moment don't like you. And it's not that they don't love you, it's your behaviour that they're struggling with right now. And you'll find that that happens with them too, that their behaviour is what you find hard to deal with. You don't stop loving them and you don't stop taking care of them. You just find their behaviour very challenging right now. And in some of those split moments, you may really, really, really dislike them, but it won't last forever, I can assure you. And I think that when we try and understand the part of us that finds it so hard to accept that people, especially our children, don't like us in this moment. It's hard to say, I'm sorry that mummy's upset you, daddy's upset you, grandma's upset you, whoever it is, because when that wasn't said to us, it's hard to find the place to actually say it to somebody else. And I'm living proof that this can be really, really challenging. I've tried to say sorry in the past and it's like my jaw was locked. I just couldn't say it. It was far too difficult for me to say. But gradually I learned, with some support and a lot of help from everybody and everything that's around me, that makes life just that little bit more bearable. So when your child doesn't like you, for whatever reason it is, you've taken something away, you're not going to take them somewhere, just be sorry. Acknowledge how they're feeling. And then ultimately, when they need somebody to talk to, they know you're not going to kill them. They know that you're going to be there at the end of the call to help them. I hope that's of some use, and I would imagine that that's going to be quite difficult to hear too. But once you've listened to it a couple of times, shared it with your friends and had some chats over it, it may make it easier to understand. And then your kids will definitely be calling you and their friends' mums too. Have a great time doing whatever it is you're planning on doing, and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.